Hello everyone. This is going to take you through how to log into Soundtrap and then the basics of how to use it so that you can begin your first assignment. Your first assignment, which is called Who I Am, is for you to come up with 1 minute of music that represents who you are. It gives you an opportunity to share a little bit about yourself through music and through creation. It also allows you a chance to explore and get comfortable with our digital audio workspace, often referred to as a DAW, which is called Soundtrap. So once you click the link to Soundtrap in our classroom, or you go directly to soundtrap.com/edu, this is the landing page that you'll be on. Once you're here, you're going to ignore what is in the center and you're going to navigate up here to the top right and you're going to click Login. You all already have accounts. I've already flowed you into my studio, so you are there. All you need to do is log in. When you click Login, you have the option here where you can log in with emails, Facebook, Google, or a Microsoft School account. You are going to log in with Google, so don't worry about anything that may be filled in already. Simply click Login with Google. Once that comes up, you're going to choose your account. So choose your city, schools, Google account, and then you land to a page that looks something like this. Now I've changed my header, so mine might look a little bit different. So I just want to call out a couple of things on your home page. This is typically your home page for Soundtrap. You won't have anything here yet because you haven't started creating any beats or creating any music. But as you create music, once you save it, you'll see that they show up down here. Okay? Now, these ones that are listed as private, these are pieces of music I've been playing with that I have not shared yet and I have not made them public. Versus this song right here, I have made public. And if I were to go ahead and hit play, you can hear my music that I've already begun, that I'm happy with and it's completed. From here, I am able to share a copy of this with other people, or I can share the project with somebody else. And so we'll look at these options once you get to a point where you're ready to turn in your music. But just know you can work on music here, and if I want to go back in, I can enter the studio here to continue working on a piece. Even if it's already published, I can go in and it's public. I can go ahead and I can continue to edit if I want to. The other things I just want to call out, you probably don't have a lot of these options up here. This is the teacher view. You can collaborate with people, which is kind of fun. I haven't played with this with students yet because I've only gotten into this program since last spring. There's a different one when we're in person that we use at Digital Harbor, but in this space, we're going to explore this particular program for what we do. So at some point, I think I do want to explore the collaboration between you and a classmate, but for purposes of what we're doing today, for you creating a minute of music that represents you, let's just take a look at the basics of the studio. So to get into the studio, you're going to click this Enter Studio button. It's purple right here. You're going to give it a couple minutes to load, and you can come up. It'll ask you, are you creating a piece of music or are you creating a podcast? Well, for purposes of what we're doing today, we are creating a piece of music. So I'm going to go ahead and click Music. Once I have that, there are a couple options of how do I create beats. Browse loops, this is the one we are typically going to live in. You do have the option to play around with patterns and beat making, or if you were to have a keyboard hooked up, you could put that in there. You can even import a file. If you want to invite a friend to collaborate, you can do that. And then if you need to add new tracks, this is here. So these 6 options kind of live here. By default, at least in the beginning and as we get going, you're almost always going to select Browse Loops. So go ahead and click that. So once I click the Browse Loops, you're going to see this screen popped up over here. So in this, move this over just a little bit more. In here, you'll see, okay, there's beats, there's drums, there's bass, there's piano. And if I were to click any of these, watch what happens underneath. I get extra beats that are here that have shown up. I can click jazz and R&B, and I've added all these different things in here, and now I'm down to 1 sound, right? If I hit play, it's kind of a cool sound. I'm going to hit favorite because I really like that, and I think I'm going to want to come back to it later. Now you can get rid of all the search buttons, and it brings you back to here. They're constantly adding new sounds, so I like to check out the new a lot and just see what they have. That's interesting. Oh, I like that. Okay, so once you find one you like, you simply double click it and it adds it right into your studio over here. Let me move my face out of the way. Here are your controls, okay? So I can hit stop. I've got rewind, which will only rewind a little bit. You see how my purple line only went back a little? If I hit this rewind, it takes me all the way back to the beginning of the piece, which is there. So if I want to hit play, okay, I like this. This works. Now it's on auto loop. I can turn this auto loop off. I simply take this, and I'm going to extend this out and give myself some room. And then I can loop this and make this longer if I want to. By double clicking and dragging. So you can play around with it. Okay. Close that. Rewind. Turn the purple off. And then you'll see it keeps going now. So that purple creates the loop. You just need to click it to turn it off. You can extend your loop like I did. I just took it and I dragged it. Or you can hit the repeat circle and it goes. Now, what's fun about this program is once you select something, you'll say, what are some top picks? What are some things that go nicely with this? And it will guide you a little bit. Especially if you're new to making beats and making loops, you have this option. So let's listen to some of these other things that it offered as suggestions. It's not too bad. That's different. Not a fan. Oh, that could be interesting though. So I can take this, and so there's two ways you can put it in. I can take it and I can drag and drop it. Once it's in, you can move it around so you can have it start wherever you want it to start. So say I don't want to start right at the beginning of my piece, I can move it around a little bit. Maybe it's better there, right? So if I return to beginning, it kind of flows okay. All right, so this is the basics. If you put something in, you don't like it, you can simply click it and hit the backspace on your keyboard and it gets rid of it. I actually really liked that. I don't think it was that one though. You can drag them. So what I did was over here, I clicked this this bass MIDI 2, and I'm holding my left button down. I'm just dragging it so I can just drop it somewhere. So maybe I decided my piece I want to start it there, right? Now that is really loud. So over here, I'm going to call it a couple of other things. On each individual track, you have options for volume. So I can actually make this volume, whoops, I get a little clicky. So I can make this volume a little bit less, so it's not quite as loud. That's better. Make it a little bit softer, that's even better. And maybe I just want this one a little bit louder. Cool. If I am pretty sure that I want to keep this, but I'm not 100% positive, and maybe I don't favorite it over here, but I just want to hear my piece without it, you can mute individual tracks. It just grays them out. So when I hit play, it doesn't play. Okay. And while you're playing, you turn it back on. So you have that option there. Now your favorites, if you find something you really like, right? So I like that bass MIDI 2. I can hit the little heart. All right, and then later when I'm looking through my favorites, if I get out of the new section, I can't have anything on here. Now I've got my favorites that I favorited that show up here, which is kind of nice. So those are always there. You can scroll through, there's different sounds. Interesting, okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. So let me go drop this in, because that's actually really cool. Let's see if they go together. Yeah, I like that. Okay. All right, so you can play around, and you can see along the top here I have, if I close out my loops, so if I just click browse, if I just click the loop button right here, that's this right here, you can see along the top I have times. If those times are not there, you've got some settings here, and down here the ruler, this is the ruler along the top. If your ruler is in beats and it is not in seconds, and you want it in seconds because we do everything in seconds, we do everything based off of time in this class for the most part, you do want to, again, here's your settings grid, right? So this little cogwheel settings, you come down here, yours might be on beats, go ahead and change it to time, because that will give you an opportunity to keep an eye on how long your piece is, because you only need a minute for this first piece. Now, this first piece you're calling is called Who I Am. So right here it says Untitled Song. Let's go ahead and call this Who I Am, so that we know that that is the project I'm currently working on. And right here it says Save. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save this project. Okay. Done. Now I can keep working on it. So I would suggest every so often you save as you go. You are working on the internet. Sometimes the internet crashes on you. You don't want that to happen. Now, if I want to keep working, how do I get back to my loops? I get back to my loops simply by over here clicking this purple music note, and brings the loops back up for me. Okay, so I can go through, and there's a ton. I mean, I'm just scrolling down. There is so much to explore, and there is so much to listen to. So don't be afraid to scroll down and find the real interesting things, okay? Once you are done working for the day, and you know you're going to need to come back to it later, right? So you can exit the studio right here. So let's see what happens. I am going to check, make sure my save button is not purple, it's gray. That means I haven't made any changes. I've titled it so I know that this is the piece I'm working on, and I'm going to go ahead and hit exit studio. So that means when I come back to work on my piece, because this is going to take a couple days to work on, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to click here. So once I log in, all my projects are in my list right here. I'm going to go ahead and click studio. It's going to bring me back to the studio, and you'll see my work is already here. And then I can just open up my loops by clicking the purple music notes, and I can keep experimenting and playing in the studio. Now, there are a lot of things the studio can do. We will get to them over time, but do ask questions if you're not sure how to do something, if there is something else that you're trying to do and you can't figure out. Ask, we'll talk about it. In full transparency, I am still new to this program. I have worked with a lot of DAWs. They're all pretty much similar. It might just take me a minute or two to figure it out, but generally I can. So we will just work together. It'll be fun. We're going to create some good music, and I cannot wait to hear what you come up with. So 1 minute of music that represents who you are. Ready, set, go. Have fun.